Alright, this tutorial is going to show you how to create a document in CorelDRAW that is prepared for the laser engraver. First thing you're going to do is you're going to get yourself onto the VDI and log into the VDI, and we're going to assume that you know how to do that. Now, next thing that you're going to do, lower left-hand corner, you're going to type search, and you're going to COREL. A couple different CorelDRAW, Corel Connect. What you want to use this CorelDRAW X6. Open that up. It's going to ask you if you want to join a club or whatever. Just say no to it by clicking close down here in the lower right-hand corner. When this opens up, you're going to select Quick Start. You're going to select New Blank Document. You're going to title it your name and whatever we're doing here. This particular project is our speaker back. Now you're going to select the DPI to be 300. Now the width of the project that you're going to be using is just, you pretty much have to measure it in square. Our particular project for the speaker back is 9.25 by 4.5. Now, depending on what project you're using, you're obviously going to have a different size. So you'll just have to pretty much measure that left to right, top to bottom. At that point, you can click Save. You can click OK. Now, this project or this layout here should be pretty representative of the part that you're working on. Now, with CorelDRAW, and actually in this particular version, for some reason our top menus tend to hide, but as long as you hover over top with your arrow here, they'll pop up. So don't freak out when you don't see exactly the right tab. They are up there. For some reason, they just hide on us. All right, a couple things we can do here just to kind of quickly get you through putting things on to your Corel document. Text is this little text tool here on the left-hand side. And the text fonts that they have listed here in CorelDRAW. Pretty simple. You get your typical Arial, whatever, any of these there, or they should work because they've been imported into the CorelDRAW software. All right, so we've got ourselves a text box. Now, what you can use to move this text box around, increase the size and whatnot, just use this pick tool at the top left. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, whatever you want to do. Good idea here in CorelDRAW. If you're able to find the center of things. 9 1/4, half of 9 is 4.5 plus half of a quarter is an eighth. So we're talking about 4 5/8. We can mark a construction line here. That's the center of our project. Now that dotted line won't print. That dotted line just for your reference purposes. And you can do the same thing if you just click on the arrow up top. 4.5, middle of 4.5 would be 2 1/4. See if we can get in here. And you can always roll in. It's really good to have a mouse with this particular program. See if we can get in here. 2 1/4. So we found our dead center of our project. So we'd like to center our text here. Now the little center X, you can either move that over manually by just grabbing it, or if you want some fine adjustment, you can actually adjust it by hitting the arrow keys on your keyboard. So we got that centered. Now it's time to get a graphic in here. So what you're going to need to do is you'll go out to Google Chrome. Google Chrome, and I don't know, type something that you're looking for. Let's try, I don't know, let's look for a boat anchor. Now, it'll give you all kinds of different options. The best idea here is to go and do images. Now, when we're looking for things in CorelDRAW, it's really best to select a certain type of drawing if that's possible here. So let's drag this down a little bit. And we'll actually go full screen here. Type anchor. Now, what we can also do is select images, select tools, and it'll give us the option to select type. Now, I would recommend trying to find something that has a line drawing and that is relatively large. Now, when you're looking here, you got to be careful. Like for this particular project here, you can see there's a little bit of a watermark. It says licensable. Try to stay away with something that has a watermark. That one looks okay. So if we click on this guy here, come over top of it, right click, copy image, then we can go back to CorelDRAW and just simply paste it. It's pretty simple. Control V. And apparently that is a giant size project. We are going to stay away from that. Sometimes they will work, sometimes they will not. So let's go back to the drawing board. And one of the other things that might have caused us to have a problem, CorelDRAW doesn't like these transparent backgrounds. So sometimes when you get in here, you don't necessarily end up with the best drawing. But Google's got plenty. Just do what you can to find something that works and that actually prints into CorelDRAW. This one probably should work. So if you go over top of here, once again, right click, you're going to be copy the image. Let's see if it works back here in CorelDRAW. Right click, paste. There it is. Now this one came in pretty large, which means you'll have to zoom out using your roller on your mouse. Kind of shrink it down. It's really a good idea to have a mouse, especially we found that out with our CAD stuff that we were doing earlier in the semester. It's best to have a mouse to control. Do our best to at least center this thing left to right. Now, I would leave a little bit of space around the outside just in case the part that you use had to be machined down slightly or whatever is a little bit smaller than what we thought. But really, that's a good design. Try to keep it simple here this semester. All right, now that we've got a design created here in CorelDRAW, we want to make sure that we save this in the right location. You're going to save this just like we have with any of the other projects. You're going to save it as your name, which I think we've already done, but we need to make sure it goes to your spot on the M drive. We're going to go to top left here, File. You're going to do Save As. Your name, speaker. We got the name right, but we didn't get the location. So you're going to need to go here to this PC, MS Tech Ed, Students, your particular teacher, your particular grade level, and your file in here that you've created under your name. And obviously yours will be your name. Now at this point we can come back in, we can make adjustments as needed. We're going to go ahead and assume that this is in good shape here for printing. So now we're going to make our next step to print. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the top left, File, Print, and you're going to find the printer that is listed here as laser engraver, either Mini 18 or Mini 24. Either Mini 18 or Mini 24, whatever one there's not a line at. We'll go with 18 here, and you're going to hit this button that says Preferences. That's going to bring up the properties of the printer. And you're going to want your DPI here to be 600, your job type to be raster, because we're not cutting anything out with a vector. So raster just kind of scratches the surface. We want the size of our part to be exactly what we had there. It was 9.25. by 4.5, and that'll change obviously if you have a different size part. Leave autofocus off because we are dealing with varying thicknesses. So your teacher will set the focus up for you on this project, on this part. All right, speed for wood is a raster setting of 60% for speed, power being 100%. Vector, we don't have to worry about. That's for if we were cutting these out. At that point, you click OK. Now, most of the time, you can get in here and you can see a couple issues, maybe one, maybe two. If the issue that pops up says image resolution below 96 dpi, don't worry about that. The one that you really need to watch for is if it says image does not fit on media. If it says that, that means that you've either got something out here in the field or you forgot to actually put your uh, put your size in correctly there in the layout in the general. So you're okay here. At that point, you're going to click print. You're going to make your way over to the laser engraver. The small one is the 18, the larger one is the 24. And at that point, you can just simply go through the on-screen menu and find the part that says your name and whatever you've called this here.